Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Orchestra from designer Dario Genuardi and produced by RiffleShuffle. Now, Dario's a freelance artist out of Barcelona who is no stranger to RiffleShuffle. He's done a number of decks with them in the past. You may remember decks like Surf, Skateboard, Pop Stars, and others. Really fun, vibrant decks that make great use of Dario's unique art style. In fact, Dario's probably one of my favorite artists that RiffleShuffle works with, so very excited to see his latest deck. Now for this one, he leaves some of his favorite themes with things like the surfboards and instead dons the tuxedo for a night at the orchestra. So let's see how this one came out. All right, so starting with the tuck box, it's done with a kind of a matte finish and a bit of a textured finish on this tuck box. Has almost a plasticky feel to it. Not a huge fan of how it feels overall, but I do like the addition of nice subtle embossing on this one. Multiple colors on this. You get the blacks, the golds, and of course that bright pop of red. And the scene here made to look like a night at the orchestra. You have the stage here framed by the red curtain. You can see the audience ringing around the outside. And then the large spade pip in the center featuring none other than the conductor himself. The conductor actually, I think, is meant to be a representation of Dario with his beard and long hair there. So he kind of makes a cameo in his own deck. But love how the arms raised above the head kind of form the curve of the spade pip there, and then riffleshuffle.com at the bottom. Fun, bright look to it overall. On the sides, you just get orchestra playing cards with the trumpet there on the side. The other side, distributed by RiffleShuffle and made in Taiwan. You've got someone playing the cello over there. On the bottom, you get your ad copy for RiffleShuffle and Dario. You can see this one's numbered out of 2,500, or not numbered, I should say, limited to 2,500. And then a special thanks down here to Kemin Zhang and Tony Simak. We'll see more about them in a second. Top here just has the name of the deck. Once again, Orchestra with the conductor's hands at the ready. And then the back has an embossed version of the back design of the cards. You can see the multiple hues of gold there. Thumb cutout here reveals the little music notes and the bright hit of that kind of orange-red color that looks just so bright against the blacks and golds of the rest of the tuck. More music notes on the inner flaps and interior printing in black and gold with little music staffs running their way all the way down. So there is the tuck box. Not a bad look to it at all, but let's check out the cards, and we'll start with the back design. And here it is. So we already saw kind of a preview of this on the tuck box. And so here it is with nice multiple metallic gold inks. You have kind of two hues of gold. You can see the brighter gold and then this more kind of bronze color here. And just an explosion of detail. If you've seen other of Dario's decks, you'll know that his line work and tremendous detail that he puts all over the back designs, kind of one of the many trademarks for his decks. This one, of course, with the orchestra theme, featuring a mishmash of different instruments. You got like the cello, trumpet, trombone, the French horn up here, music notes kind of filling in some of the extra space. Just a fun look to it overall, and despite everything going on, doesn't come across as busy. It's a pretty well composed card in my opinion. So definitely a nice looking back design. Finishes out with a super thin white poker border. And I love how that border is just kind of slightly broken, so you get a little bit of shape around the edge, so it doesn't feel quite as boxed in. So there's the back design. And then on to the main deck, and we'll start with the two jokers. And here we can see the first two characters of the deck. Again, if you've seen other of Dario's decks, you'll definitely recognize the line work art style. He definitely has a look from the bright, vibrant colors, minimal number of colors used here. You can see just the gold, black, white, and then that red color as the only colors that are used on this one. And first two, of course, members of the orchestra. So we got the percussion here as the jokers. You have the cymbals and the triangle. So I don't know, maybe they're the jokers because those are the two easiest instruments in the orchestra to play. But the black joker and the red with just the joker written in the corners. Love the look to them. I love the cheeky grins on both their faces. And those metallic inks really shine nicely. So there's the two Jokers. And then you get an interesting pair of extra cards here with some sheet music. This is sheet music for a song called Magic, coming from the musical Joker's game. It's not one that I'd ever heard of. I'm a fan of musicals. But you may remember the credit on the bottom of the tuck box for Tony Simak and Kemen Zhang. They're actually the creators of the musical Joker's game. And so one of the songs from their musical makes its way as sheet music on the other pair of extra cards. So kind of fun little touch there to get that. I don't know, if I could play piano, maybe I'd break it out and play this. Maybe I can get my wife to play that for me. But there's your extra cards. Only one custom ace on this one, the Ace of Spades, done in the blacks, and again, some of those metallic inks. And this one again features Dario's own cameo as the conductor here. Same design we saw on the tuck box, arms raised above the head, kind of forming that curve of the spade pit. Love the look of that one. Love the closed eyes, kind of gives that serene look like he's getting ready to start the music. And then that really fancy ornate script as the index in the corner, and then the really small kind of bisected pip there in gold and black. Definitely a little bit harder of an index to read, and you'll see a little bit harder to read as we go through some of the number cards as well. Not too bad, but the number cards do all feature custom pips. Again, those kind of divided pips. You get black on one side and gold on the other, and then the black side kind of outlined slightly in that gold as well. And then a little bit hard to see here, but the indices in the corner also have that outline of gold. Kind of gives it a little bit of an extra pop, almost like a neon sign or something like that. Feels like a glow. As you go through the number cards, you'll see some of them a little harder to read, like that 3 could definitely be mistaken for an 8 in your hand, but not too bad. So the blacks and the golds for the black cards, and as you get to the red cards, they're now gold, that kind of brighter gold color, and then that orangish red. But otherwise, nothing too special on these. The pips, other than the split color, nothing too custom on these. Slightly larger pips on the aces, but otherwise not really custom aces other than that Ace of Spades. So there's your clubs, and then into the hearts. And then we get to the court cards, and this is really, like a lot of playing card creators, this is the sort of specialty of Dario. He's the artist. He loves to create these really fun characters, and his art style just lends itself so well to court cards. You get the two-way courts here, you know, so kind of a classic composition, but each one of them meant to highlight one of the instruments or players in the orchestra. So you got the trombone here on the Jack of Spades. Love the kind of waves of the staffs, almost like music notes floating off on the sides. And then all the characters have their eyes closed, like they're just kind of soaked into the music entirely. So you get the queen with the piano there, and then the king, probably my favorite of them, with the French horn there. Love the hair on this one. It's a really cool look. Kind of reminiscent of your classic bicycle courts. Moving to the diamonds, we get this percussion player here. Not sure what he's playing. It looks like a snare drum, but he has the mallets, which usually you only use for like a xylophone or a marimba, but a little bit more red brought into the red cards. You'll see like the red hair here, the pops of red in the mallet. So the court cards do feature a little bit more red. You get the violin here is the Queen of Diamonds, and the King of Diamonds playing the saxophone. Another really cool one. I love the straight on look of that one. Gives it kind of a unique composition. Moving to the clubs, we get the flautist here playing his flute. Another really nice one. The Queen of Clubs is playing her harp. Lots of hits of the gold on that one. And then probably my favorite card in the whole deck, the King of Clubs, with the kind of Louis Armstrong puffed out cheeks playing his trumpet there. Really cool looking card. That's a fantastic one. Even the skin there is kind of glowing bronze color. There's the xylophone or marimba there. There's the Jack of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. I think that's meant to be a cello. And then finally the King of Hearts with the tuba. So very cool, fun, vibrant characters all throughout the courts. And with just a minimal palette of colors, just the blacks, golds, and those reds, really able to create some fun, vibrant, and really lively looks to the court cards. So that is the deck. Now, what about the handling? So these are printed by the Taiwan Playing Card Company on their legendary stock. It's not bad. I will say, you know, it depends on how you want to use this. If you want to use this like for hardcore cardistry or something, you may notice it's a little clumpier in fans, a little bit stiffer of a feel to it. So maybe not quite as easy to handle, especially if you compare to something like USPCC or Cardamundi. But for my purposes, you know, I'm not much of a cardist myself, so more than, you know, ample handling on this one. You can shuffle these just fine, you know, use them in dribbles and fans, you know, without too much trouble. So I don't think there's anything that really holds this back on the handling, but I would say, you know, don't love this quite as much as I do USPCC or Cardamundi. But anyway, great fun deck, great one to open up and use for just bringing a little bit of extra life to game night. I think it would be a really fun deck to break out. But hope you enjoyed this one, Orchestra from Dario Genuardi and RiffleShuffle. I'll put a link down in the description. There are still some available if you want to pick one up for yourself. But thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.